Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. Mark Walters here. Armed American Radio's Daily Defense begins right now on a Monday, and I see Andy Hooser in the studio waiting for us at KQAM. Greg in Dallas, Texas. He brings a light to us on a Monday, doesn't he?
Yeah, it's the best way to get our energy started on the week.
Well, I don't know. I'm drinking a liquid death right now. I don't know if that's a good thing or not. Liquid death. I refuse to pay $46 at Costco.
Yeesh.
For 24 sugar-free Red Bulls. It used to be 38, and before that it was 28. Before that it was 19.
Yep.
And I'm not going to do it. So I said, I'll try this stuff. I thought, liquid death. What could possibly go wrong? You know? What could possibly go wrong? It says, well, it's basically just sparkling water with caffeine in it.
Liquid death sounds like hemlock.
I'm not sure that's a good marketing technique. I don't know. I don't know. I bought it. Anyway, ask me how many cups of blackout coffee I had to start my day today on a Monday.
How many cups of that blackout coffee?
Two. I'll save you some time, too.
All right.
But it was the highly caffeinated stuff, only because Sunday nights are long nights. That's all. And this is the only energy drink or anything like that I've had during the day today, was this.
All right.
I went and had my free soup and salad with my dad today for lunch. So that was good.
Hey, perfect.
And iced tea. That was good stuff. No, Monstercast was awesome yesterday, ladies and gentlemen. We're on all of our platforms. I'll let Greg tell you where to do that as we bring it to you live today from the CZ studios here in front of the Patriot Mobile mic. It's all brought to you by the NRA. Greg, take it away. We'll get going to Andy Hooser.
Yeah, sure. Places to watch the show are going to be YouTube and Facebook. Just do a search for Armed American Radio with Mark Walters. If you're over on X, just search for us at AAR Mark. You can always head over to armedamericanradio.org or .com, hit that menu icon, then select your watch live or listen live option. And if you'd like to join our live chat, just download Telegram, create your profile, and search for Armed American Radio Conversations.
That'll do it. Andy Hooser, the voice of reason. Welcome in. How you doing today on a Monday?
What's up,
I ask?
The Hooser.
Yeah, buddy. Happy Monday to you, man. Great to stay. Ready to rock and roll for a whole new one. We are setting that tone for the whole entire week, my friend.
Are we really?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That's that tone right here, right now. We're setting that tone, baby. Let's go.
Okay. Well, I don't know what to talk about today.
Yep.
Yeah.
You got some aliens, Andy?
You got some aliens. I have watched some cool UFO documentaries over the last 4 days. I got to be honest with you. I have, because I love that stuff.
Been some great documentaries going on. Yeah, more information that is slowly leaking. There is a rumor that Donald Trump will confirm the existence of extraterrestrials before the end of the year.
Okay. Well, how about
Andy? That? Okay, look, I got to go here, Greg. You've said that before, though.
Well, okay. So
we were supposed to have 2 or 3 disclosure days, right? We didn't.
Yeah.
I mean,
you know. Well, originally, yeah, there was a rumor that he was going to say something in, I want to say June or July, after the Age of Disclosure movie came out from Steven Spielberg. That obviously didn't happen, but now the rumor is before the end of the year. More information's coming out. We've had 5 dumps on the UFO website now at war.gov/UFO. So more information's coming out. But at some point, they can't deny it any longer. And you know what I would love? What if he did that, like, literally right, like the week before Election Day? And was just like, by the way, you know, we're going to be the most transparent administration in American history. Yeah, there's ETs. We've met them. We have photos. We have some with us. We've been doing a hybridization program. So, by the way, yeah, most transparent administration ever. Go and vote, by the way, on Tuesday. I would love that. That would be so good.
Now, I can't deny that.
Take away from all the other bad negativity. Yeah.
That would be kind of cool if that happened.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I don't know. I'm not buying it.
Come on, man. We got this.
I think the only aliens we're getting are deported.
Well, he did fool us with that one website. That kind of made me mad.
Say what?
Aliens.gov. The alien.gov, if you remember, like, it was they registered the domain alien.gov and aliens.gov. And I want to say, what was it, a couple months ago? The big announcement was the website is up. There's information on there at alien.gov. And we went there, and it was the entire list of all the deportations they have done of illegal aliens. But they had it as like a UFO kind of thing and stars and everything. And they said they've been amongst us all around everywhere that you go. They've been amongst us everywhere that you are. And they did this whole thing. And then it was the map of all the places they've deported illegal aliens.
Okay. Yeah. Well, interchangeable. Greg,
got rickrolled on that one.
You can cut the music on that. We were kind of stupid on that one, right?
Yeah, I got mad. I was actually pretty mad. I was like, great for trolling us, but how dare you? How dare we have all that information on illegal aliens? I want the juicy stuff here. So
It's
yeah,
coming.
Trump trolled
It's
us
coming.
big time on that one.
It's
It
coming.
is.
I believe.
I'm saying by
it's
the end of
coming.
the year.
I think so. I think it's coming. There's no question about it. So, Andy, I got to get your take on this Enos Cantor freedom deal. I talked about this briefly in the roundtable last night on Armed American Radio, and it cracks me up. I read a little bit more about it today, and I just can't believe we're here. I cannot believe we're here in the United States of America. I mean, the Supreme Court is talking about. Come on, man. What does this say? Our enemies must be looking at us like we've got screws loose.
Oh, of course. Yeah. No, it's insane. No, I am. Look, here's the thing. It's a very stupid issue. We've talked about the trans issue for a long time. We don't care. We don't care what your affiliation is, what your sexual orientation is, what you identify as, what you feel as. We thought that in the 2000s, the year 2000s and above, we'd have flying cars, that we'd be going to Mars, we'd have a civilization there. But instead, we're challenging the basic biological factors of reality, which is male and female. Look, I think the Enes Cantor thing is absolutely hilarious, and I love him for doing it. What's his name? Royce White. I believe is the other guy.
He's the second one,
former NBA player that's doing that. Yeah, exactly. And they are doing it so perfect. They are reminding me of a real life episode of South Park, because what they are doing is they are exposing absurdity by taking absurdity to another level of being more absurd by claiming as a masculine dude, 7 foot tall, big old beard, muscular, former superstars in the NBA coming out and saying, I am now trans and I'm going to qualify for the WNBA draft in 2027 and I'm going to be thrown into this pool. I think it's absolutely hilarious because it is exposing the absurdity by being absurd. And that's exactly what we need to do to show how dumb this issue is, because now you have the people that have tried to defend transgenderism by saying that you can believe whatever you want to at any time. You're fluid. You can believe it one day. You cannot believe it the next day. It just depends on what your emotions are and feelings are at the time. Those types of people are now coming out against them, saying that you are not trans. Well, how can you define what transgender actually is? If we feel that way, we feel that way. And we can call them transphobic now. Again, it's exposing absurdity by being absurd. That's what South Park has done for their entire 10 years of TV show. That's why I'm a big fan of the show, because it's so stupid sometimes. That's what these guys are doing in real life, and I absolutely love it. What we saw this weekend with Enes Cantor, at the basketball game,
it was brilliant.
Wearing the shirt and the women going nuts, freaking hilarious. Well done. I applaud them because we need more of this kind of stuff.
I agree. And right after he got kicked out, I think he was still on the grounds of the arena. He put an X post out, a tweet, whatever you want to call it, formerly known as Twitter, that said, think about this. I just got kicked out of an at WNBA game for supporting women. Think about that, America. I mean, and you're right. The absurdity of it. He is pointing out the absurdity of it. I tied it back to Second Amendment issues yesterday. But people say, well, why are they talking about this? Well, number one, because it's fun. It's so stupid. It's so crazy that this country is where it is today in 2026, that this is even a conversation. Last night when we went live on that was the number one story on the top of Fox News. The number one story. And I think it hit it again today, if I'm not mistaken. The absurdity of that is not lost on me. We've got so much going on in the world, and this just proves my point over the years. The media can make anything it wants to make news by simply calling it news and putting it out there. And everything else just seems to cease to exist because they're talking about this right now. That's the power of mainstream media. They've been doing it to us as gun owners for years. That's how they demonize. That's how they create a narrative. That's how they run with a narrative. They form it. They get it out there. You got the talking heads on Fox News on the stupid curvy couch begin talking about it as all of a sudden this is the biggest news in the world. Now, I'm going to go a little bit further here. Let's take the socialist deal. But before I go back in, see, now we're going down the rabbit hole, Andy. Thanks. Here we go. We have to now. But you're right. The utter absurdity of this, that this is where we are in America today. So let's leave it at that. Let's go over to the media here. What's the big thing with the Democrat Party right now? It's the DSA, Democrat Socialists of America.
Right.
The whole party's moving socialism. Is it? Or is it just because you're being hammered continuously, relentlessly by media stories telling you the same thing? How many Democrat socialist candidates are there? Now, I'm just asking to show you the power of media. The left has lost their minds, ladies and gentlemen. They are socialists. I've been calling them communists on this program long before that was a fad. long before that was a fad. I had a couple program directors tell me, you got to stop calling the left communist. You got to stop doing that. That's pretty harsh. No, because it's true. But the fact of the matter is, how many
30.
DSA candidates are out there, Andy? We're getting ready to take a break, and I'll show you the method to my madness when we come back. Has the Democrat Party lost their marbles? Yes. Are they off the chain? Yes. Are they socialists? They've always been socialists. They've just outed themselves now. Are they communists? You bet they are. But I'll explain my point when we come back. I might even just be a little bit fair to them. Yeah, because of the media. We'll be right back. Here's coming up. Let's go back to Andy Hooser, the voice of Liaison. So, Andy, do some digging into this. It's pretty interesting when you see these numbers. I said I was going to be fair to the Democrat Party. I'm going to try to be really, it's not fair. I'm just going to be honest. I guess being honest is being fair. That's something they don't know anything about. But we talk about media. Media gins up trouble. Media can make one story look like the law of the land. Media can make one law somewhere look like it's something else. Media can make, well, let's just say one very small, tiny fraction segment of the population appear far bigger than it really is, right? By the countless, endless stories, you would think everybody in America has a trans kid and is facing this issue. Not the case. True?
Very true.
Isn't that the overall point?
Well, yeah, of course. They want to make it way more important than what it actually needs to be. What's the population of those that consider themselves trans? I want to say like 0.07% of the population. 1.8% of the population in general identifies as part of the LGBTQ community as a whole, but trans specifically less than 0.5%, I want to say.
Yeah, and here it's become this huge issue. Why? Because the media has made it to be a huger issue than it is. We like our made up words.
They make it bigly.
They make it bigly, or like he really said, big league. They try to make it appear bigly. But here's where the danger lies. I hate the media because they're good at doing this. This is how they create narratives. They know that they can say something, create this narrative, and other talking heads and pundits will begin talking about it across the spectrum, various networks, various platforms, whether it's podcasts, whether it's television news, it doesn't make any difference. Boom, all of a sudden it becomes this huge story, and they keep it there, and all of a sudden it seems like it's part of the fabric of America when it's not. It's a small, whacked out percentage of the population. That's what it is in reality. That's where the danger is, Andy. This is why it's so dangerous. How many declared Democrat Socialist of America candidates are there right now sitting in Congress? Do you know the number to that?
Sitting in Congress right now?
Declared members.
I would say maybe 5 or 6.
There are only 2, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and Rashida Tlaib. Now you throw Bernie Sanders in there. I'm going to be fair to Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders is registered as an independent, but he caucuses with the Dems. We all know he identifies as. He's just like the trans, right? He just identifies as whatever he is. Technically speaking, he's an independent. Correct me if I'm wrong.
No, you are right. He is an independent, yes.
All right, so that's the current congressional number. So why is this such a big deal when that's just a fact? Here's where this begins to matter. Because coming up in January 2027, when Congress is seated after the midterms, ladies and gentlemen, you have Chris Rabb or Rob. I don't know. How does he pronounce his name in Pennsylvania? Is it Rabb or Rob? Do you know who I'm talking about?
I want to say Rob.
Okay, I think it's Rob, but let's just call him Chris the Moron. Chris the Moron is out of Pennsylvania 3. Currently, he's a Pennsylvania House District 200. He's a Democrat nominee for Congress. If he wins, okay, that would be 3. You have Claire Valdez out of New York 7, currently New York Assembly District 37, DSA member who won the Democratic congressional primary. That's been making news. Dario Chevalier, New York 13. Intentionally butchering that name. DSA member who defeated incumbent Adriano Espaillat in the Democratic primary. Valdez and Chevalier are running in heavily Democrat New York districts right now, Andy. So the congressional DSA contingent could expand substantially in January to 5 or 6. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. State legislatures. This is where the numbers can get really big. But before we go there, let's just talk about Congress right now. How many Democrats are seated in Congress right now currently? 213 is the number, right? 213.
Yeah, right about there.
So let's do the percentage on that. You see how small that percentage is?
Well, I would say there are a few more though. I mean, let's throw in. You got I can't remember her name out of Colorado. That's running as well in a very blue district. She's probably going to win.
Haven't
You
gotten
got
there yet.
Abdul
I'm going there
Els-
next.
That's-
I'm going there next. I'm talking
Okay.
about the current makeup. Don't jump ahead of me.
Yeah.
Because I know you. You're brilliant.
Yeah.
You're the voice of reason. You're reasoning through this. Just kind of walk with me. I'm a little bit slower than you. I got a couple years on you. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, you're right. Current makeup. It is not that much, but when you're talking about with especially the House of Representatives, where you pass bills by about a 2 to 3 vote majority,
Correct.
just like the Republican Party with the Truth Caucus, with the moderates that are in there and the rhinos. I mean, those 1 or 2 votes that are in there that have a completely different agenda under your umbrella of a party, Republican or Democrat, that can make or break how things actually play out in DC.
Yet I cross-referenced about 4 or 5 different AI programs to come up with these numbers. And they were in fact, they were absolutely 100% consistent, which is why I cross-referenced them to see what it looked like. Was there going to be any discrepancy? And there was not. There were 62 sitting state legislators explicitly identified right now, Andy Hooser, the voice of reason, as DSA members. And about 14, and I quote, in state senates, chambers, roughly 48 in state lower houses. Now, this is where it gets interesting because this is the danger. This is where we're going to jump now, where you want to get ahead, because these numbers are growing. The problem is, what is the Democrat Party, and what do you call it? Do we want to call it the normal Democrat Party? Do we want to call it the establishment Democrat Party? Because I don't believe there is one at this point. I don't know that any of those descriptive words actually fit this party right now. I don't think they know what they are. They are wrestling with how to handle this infestation within their own party. So let's just assume that there's 3 in Congress right now. The problem becomes, what does Jeffries do? How does he identify? Guys, this all ties to our gun rights. Trust me, because these people all want you disarmed. We'll get there. I think you understand that. But you see where we're going here. What is the Democrat machine? The establishment machine. We'll use that word because people know what it means. How do they identify this? Do they embrace it? And if they do embrace it, does that make the rest of them socialist as well? The answer to that, in my estimation, is hell yeah, it does, because I think the party's socialist anyway. They're just out now. They're just more vocal now. The media has allowed them a megaphone that is bringing them out from the woods out into the streets. Fair enough?
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot to break down there for sure.
30.
There is, I would still call the quote unquote mainstream Democrat, I would still call them an establishment, because while they are socialists, they have done it on a very surface level.
20.
Cool Democrat, we play like we're actually
15
representing
seconds,
the
Andy.
worker. We play like we're actually representing America.
10.
Let's break this down when we come back, because it's a really important point that you're bringing up here.
10.
Where
do
this
it.
party's going moving forward.
We'll do it right when we come back with Andy Hooser. Ladies and gentlemen. All right, guys, welcome back in. This gets really interesting. Before I turn the mic back over to you, Andy, I want to clarify a point that I made when I said about Jeffries. I got to thinking about this during the break. I've always said the Democrats are socialists. They're all socialists. How do I know that? All you've got to do is look at everything they voted for over the last 50 years of your life, and you'll know. They champion every goofball left-wing cause they can. They've been hiding behind the cover they've been given by the mainstream media for decades that has been calling them mainstream to mainstreamize this leftist agenda. Now they're out. So what does that say about somebody like Schumer's always been? He's not, there's no such thing as this. They've always been left-wing goofballs, every single one of them. They've just been playing along to get along. That's where the danger lies. So let me try to articulate this, Andy, for you a little bit better than before. And for you listeners, what I meant when I mentioned Jeffries. Jeffries may not identify as a DSA member. He wants to be identified as a mainstream or establishment Democrat. Unfortunately, when he sits down at dinner, he's just thrilled as all get out because he's not the one that has to identify, because the others in the party are doing the bidding for him, even though he agrees with all of those causes. That is incredibly dangerous, Andy Hooser. And keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, tie it right back to the 2A. They all want your guns. The ideology won't work with you being armed. Andy, take it away.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. Look, this is a difference in how you approach the agenda and the messaging to the American people, because you're right. At the end of the day, they all want the same thing. Chuck Schumer would agree with Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez on Medicare for all
Mhm.
and getting rid of the Second Amendment and all this entire agenda. What's dangerous for them and what they're starting to realize is that the way that the DSA is going about it is very dangerous and extremely unpopular. You and I have talked about it before. There are two tiers of the progressive movement, right? There are the bleeding hearts that are down there that truly feel like the socialist movement is the way to go. It's taking care of people, it's helping individuals out. They feel like that's truly the best way to actually approach policy because their emotions drive them, logic doesn't drive them, so therefore they think that's the best way to go.
Right.
There are the upper tier progressives that know this entire movement's a sham. It's only for them to gain more power, to gain more influence and decentralized power for themselves to control everything. And they know exactly what this does. The problem is that now the bleeding hearts are the ones that are getting elected, and the ones that are the shammers, the ones that created this movement thinking that it was going to win people over, are now losing control of the situation. They want the same agenda, but they have to do it in the FDR style. Slowly implement it, do
Establishment,
it little by little.
a pure
Yeah.
establishment.
That's right. And not let people know exactly what's going on until it's too late. The frog boiling in the water kind of scenario. The DSA people don't care. I mean, I just played on my weekend program the Zoom meeting of the DSA heads that said that the Constitution is our enemy and it is the obstacle that we have to get around for our revolution. They openly say that. That's what they're calling for. The Democrats have always wanted that. But you have to play nice. You have to play like, no, that's not what we want. You know, the Second Amendment is a prime example. They don't openly come out and say, we just want to repeal the Second Amendment and get rid of firearms. They say, we have to put regulations on it. We have to put common sense gun control in there. We have to implement red flags.
They've
They have to
adapted.
beat around the bush. Well, yeah, they have to beat around the bush for their ultimate goal, but not directly come out and say it. The DSA just openly says, we don't like the Constitution. We don't like the Second Amendment. We're going to repeal it. End of story. The same end goal, different approaches here. And it's very dangerous for the party because the American population is not ready for that yet. And the Democrat establishment, if that's what you want to call them, realize that the average American is not ready for it. So the statewide races that we're going to see, the James Tallarico in Texas, the Abdul El Sayed in Michigan, some of these other big races that are not just in the blue safe havens of a small congressional district where there's no chance of a Republican beating them, those races are fine. The statewide races, they're in a lot of hurt right now because they realize that that is not going to be a popular agenda. Florida, Michigan, Texas, they're all going to lose those Senate seats for Democrats, or they're never going to win them, have a chance to win them, because they realize that the people of those states are not ready in a generalized election to try and, promote this type of agenda.
No, and you have a Democrat that's going to vote for a Democrat, whether they declare themselves DSA or not. If that's the person on the ticket and they're a Democrat and it's got a D next to their name, and they're going to vote for him or her, including in Florida, which is where you get the metastasization from. That's how it grows and spreads. Let's go back to the makeup of the House. Fascinating to think about this. When you've got the House where you just made a great point, 2 to 3 votes can flip something. We all know in our representative form of government, at some point in time, if you want to get something done, somebody's going to have to compromise. You're going to have to bring a couple Democrats over. You might have to negotiate with them, but you're going to need a few to come through. There's only 2 or 3 socialists declared. Now let's put 7 or 8 after the midterms. And in 4 years, let's put 12 to 15. The more of them that there are, even though they're in the minority, it becomes harder and harder to grab a few Democrats when things are split so tightly to draw them over for what you need to get what it is you want to get done. Is that making sense? That's the infestation. That's where this gets incredibly dangerous. Incredibly
and they realize
dangerous.
They recognize that. That's why there's a push right now. There are some Democrats that are declaring war on the DSA right now. But you mentioned Chuck Schumer, Hakeem Jeffries, these leaders in the Democrat Party. Right now, they're in a bind because they don't want to support them. They have not endorsed any of these candidates, but when asked about them, they're like, well, they're going to help us fight Donald Trump because Republicans are evil and the Nazi fascists, yada, yada, yada. So you know what? An enemy of my enemy is my friend. And they try to play it off as we're going to win and we're going to do this thing. But under the surface, they have not endorsed any of these candidates. They realize the danger their party is in right now because of this movement, but they cannot say anything because of the momentum that it's growing and gaining with so many candidates that are winning across the country that they didn't expect. There was an 80% chance of that candidate in Florida that lost. Yeah.
Well, you just nailed it. They've lost control. Those establishment leaders,
they lost control.
They've lost control. And they're trying to continue to appear to be mainstream when they can't any longer. They've lost control. And when that
This
party
is truly
itself,
the
with the
Dr.
leadership,
Frankenstein.
oh, it's a really bad situation. While there might be just a few of them declared, the vast majority of them agree. They're just saying, look, not yet, not yet, not. Let's equate that to the gun grabbers. You mentioned something else. They don't like to talk about it. They don't like to say it. They can't just come out and say, we want to ban your guns. From time to time, you get one or two of them that declares that's what they want to do. Then they get put back in the shoebox and change their tune because they say, well, you can't say that right now. It's not the time. Every once in a while, one of them loses their marbles and says that we want to ban guns. We've got to do this. We've got to do that. Every one of them at some point have done that. Then they get put back in their little shoebox and you don't hear anything from them for a long time. And they stop running on gun control because they know now's not the right time to do it until the right time appears. And then they're all running on gun control because it's all political expediency. It's that simple. The more of them there are, the worse the infestation becomes and the disease might not be. Welcome back. Final segment. We're cooking right along. Hope you had your seatbelts on, ladies and gentlemen. They just fly right by. Andy, this is a fascinating conversation. This really is, because you can go down so many holes here, so many holes, and all of them. You know what? I when I look at some of these names of some of these declared socialist candidates, Jessica Gonzalez Rojas. There's others. There's Shagozi Onyema. I guarantee that person was not born in Canton, Ohio. Or maybe was born in Canton, Ohio, but the rest of the family wasn't. Rashida Tlaib.
The birds? Were they eating the birds and everything out of the pond? Oh, that was East Palestine, Ohio. That's right. That was East Palestine.
Ilhan Omar. When you look at this, what I'm saying is there's a lot of people whose backgrounds hail from socialist countries around the world that are here in the United States. And guys, if you're not paying attention to this, you do it at your own peril, because that is the plan. Look at what's happening in New York City right now today as we speak. It's almost as if they forgot 9/11 happened as we come up on the 25th anniversary of 9/11 in less than 3 weeks. It's incredible. It's disheartening. It's incredible. And here you got what happened with you've got a pro basketball player to make a point that all of us are already aware of, has to declare for the WNBA draft. The absurdity of it is off the chain. And it is the same ideology that wants your guns, Andy. It's very scary stuff.
It is very scary stuff, and not to point fingers a whole lot, but I do slightly, just a little bit, blame. Well, I blame your guys' generation on setting up my generation to be such screw ups right now. I mean, I'm just throwing it out there.
Well, let me defend our generation and say we didn't think your generation could ever be this stupid.
Well, I didn't think my generation could be this stupid either. So there is that. But here we are, man. And it keeps getting worse. Now we have a generation. We have a young generation now with the snowplow parents, even above the helicopter parenting, where the parents show up to job interviews as the kid gets out of college. They are showing up and being the reference for the kids, telling the bosses that they can vouch for them.
No.
The parents showing up to job interviews for the kids.
No, that's loser. That's loser. That's what that is. I don't know. There was clearly some benefits of drinking out of a garden hose, not having a cell phone in my hand, and not wearing a helmet when I rode my bike over big ramps that we made. And we laid down 10 of our friends on the sidewalk in front of the house. And mom and dad sat out there on the front porch and watched us try to jump them. And the last two would eventually get a bike tire that was airborne landing on their chest. And somehow we're all okay.
We're all okay. Yeah, but here's the thing. I mean, in all seriousness, look, I think it is a generational thing, because for some reason, my generation and below feels like we don't have, a piece of the pie. We don't have an opportunity to get a piece of the pie. We don't have an opportunity to live that American dream. And
it's all nonsense.
That, along with, well, it's very true. But along with that, I just read a story this weekend that now psychologists are actually implementing their own bias into their therapy sessions for people, encouraging the victimhood status.
Well, that's indoctrination.
Of course it is. So yeah, now you have the education system, you have the therapy sessions, you have all these, you have the helicopter and the snowplow parenting, where you have an entire generation where everything's done for them, and they're told that they're a victim, that they don't have the American dream, they don't have the same opportunity. So therefore, you need to hate the system. And because of that, we're by default saying, hey, the only other option is something like socialism, where they have to take care of me because everything else is out of my control. I can't do anything else. We have failed these young generations, and that's why we're seeing what we're seeing. And we have to figure out a way to stop that at a cultural and societal level.
Yeah, then explain to me why, and I'm not asking you to do this. I'm kind of speaking rhetorically here. So many foreigners can come to this country and take advantage of the American dream and get rich and loaded. And okay, and that's because they come here because they come from such crap holes. They spend their entire lives to get to this country. It can be done, and shame on the parents who are teaching their kids that it can't be done. That's where it lies. It starts in the home because it can be done. The American dream is alive. You've just got to go out and get it. And I don't want to hear this nonsense about gas being all this. Gas is cheaper today than it was under Biden. Inflation is better today by 7+ points than it was under Biden. I don't want to hear the bull. I almost said a bad word. Okay? I don't want to hear it. It's nonsense. It's an excuse. Get off your duff and go make it happen. If you want to make it happen, you can make it happen. I'm not telling you you can do anything in this country. I had people say, you can be anything you want in this country. No, you can't. And I'll prove it. I suck at accounting. I'll never be a good accountant. So don't tell me I can be a good accountant because I'm not. But there's something else I can do pretty good. I can talk on the radio. And what do? I talk on the radio. There's that old movie with Sharon, and I forget the name of the movie. It's a real simple equation. Find what you love to do and do that. Guess what? You'll be successful at it, ladies and gentlemen. It's pretty much that simple. Andy Hooser, where can people find you, brother? Great conversation. Could go for another 2 hours on this one with you.
Yeah, it's a fun one, man. We could go down a lot of rabbit holes there. HooserReason.com. Always love you, brother. Happy Monday. It's going to be a great one, setting that tone for the whole week, my friend.
No, you just did it, man. Andy Hooser, the voice of reason. We love you. You're a fan favorite for a reason. Guys, you know what? We're going to get up and do this all over again tomorrow precisely because they don't want us to. Andy, thank you for being here, man. Have a great show. Do appreciate it greatly. Yeah, guys, we're going to get up and do it again tomorrow because they don't want us to. There's a lot of things happening with Armed American Radio right now. Make sure to check out our website at Armed American Radio. Subscribe to us over at YouTube. Watch some of the videos. I've got some recordings and some promos to do for our work with Valorous TV coming up. Ooh, just the beginning, ladies and gentlemen. Until we meet tomorrow on the radio, enjoy your day, stay safe, and I'll see each and every one of you on the radio.